the official podcast of Epic Toys. Jimmy Callum and Dan, bring the noise. 3POA.
Hello everyone, welcome to the 3 Points of Articulation podcast and unboxing with myself, Jamie Wills, one of your hosts of the show. We're unboxing today the Epic Toys Wave or Series 4 of the Wrestling Megastars. If you're into retro figures or wrestling figures in general, you probably own one or multiple of the Epic Toys figures, whether it's from prior the Cello takeover or after. It's sort of a game of two halves really for that, but Epic Toys Wave 4, Series 4 I guess, involves Ric Flair, Barry Windham, Dr. Death, Steve Williams, not Harold Shipman, and The Barbarian. I did unbox samples for these, which are in my collection at the moment, which we'll see as we pan across the entire collection of Epic Toys at the moment. I'm just missing some British Bulldogs in that bit there. But that's the samples that you see on the shelf there. Whereas now they got their full mass release, so we've been lucky enough to get them early compared to other people, just to sort of show what they're missing, as well as having some input onto the figures as well that people did. I didn't really give much of an input to it, I just sort of sit there and say yes or no, but we'll hear from him anyway, and we'll start with the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Now obviously the cards themselves, they are resealable, but they do come with a seal at the top, as you will see there. Excuse the setting by the way, all the late in the day, all the fun rooms are taken with all the backdrops and stuff, and it's too cold for my bar outside, so I had to do it in the front room. So it's like I'm in an Eden of sorts, doesn't it? Now Apple's here. Nature Boy Ric Flair, when he's not shit himself in bars, he makes a pretty good figure. We got Jazzwares ones coming out soon. The Epic Toys event, a zombie sailor one and a bloody variant, as well as having some big rubber guys and some bendies as well. So he gets his name about as the old Ric Flair. There's the front of the card, as you will see. Nature Boy on the front with the no moves on there because they don't have moves with them, but the signature instead for the tradition continues on the front. And I'm not great with undoing stickers, so not the most ideal thing for unboxing, I guess, but there we go. Popped it over anyway. On the back of the card, to collect them all, you've got a complete series 4 there, as well as the Nature Boy about to give poor Barry there a figure 4. Barry's not like, no, don't do it, I'm thinking my kids. On the back, you've got Wrestling Megastars officially licensed Epic Toys. Concept art by Brian Tippin Jr., one of the best in the game. The sculpt is by Mateus Cabrera, who's gone to do some Pokemon. So there you go. Paintwork from CMW Toys, Callum, and one of the ones one of the best painters or crayon users in the game. And photography and card design by our good friend Classy Rick from Action Figure Seller. Head over there to buy all of your stuff. If you want to buy some FC toys, you can buy them over there. If you want to buy some Tower Rod toys, you can probably buy them from there at some point, I don't know. And the portrait is by Mike McGee, who once again, as you can see from the portrait, is not, they haven't put a filter over it. Mike's drawn that from hand, and you've seen the full thing for it, so it's amazing. If you have a chance to check out his Instagram, Mike McGee, do, because it's very good. Ric Flair, 6'1", height 243 pounds, origin Charlotte, North Carolina. Says the world's greatest champion is here, the dirtiest player in the game. Started and profiled his way to 16 world titles. Learn to love it because it's already the best thing going today. Recently taken by John Cena. It would have been funny if they just brought him back for one night, just give him the 17th belt, but what can you do, eh? Us humans really lost on them quite a lot of the time when it comes to records. Lunch's packaging is resealable. It is hard enough to slide out of there, if that's in your nature, boy. So here's Richard. There's Ric Flair in all of his glory. Now his face was quite like divisive. People were like, either loved it or hated it. Obviously I'm in the camp where I love it, otherwise I would have told them pre-production. I see a lot of Ric Flair in the face, the hair, and obviously the smirk and all the crooked teeth. It's quite polarising. I don't know that obviously people haven't really seen Ric Flair do this smile, but I guess not, because it does look exactly like Ric Flair. But opinions are opinions. Not get into all that. Now the main focus for this is the lovely little robe that Richard is wearing, as you can see there. So much detail on there, from the gold, and just having the Nature Boy on the back of his jacket, the sequins, as well as the design itself. Now the attire is from the Royal Albert Hall Battle Royal event. If you're in the UK, obviously it's synonymous with us in the UK, as it was one of the first, I think it was the first VHS tape that I owned, was this event. So it's great to see. I think you have actual Tito Santana on it, as well as competing in the Battle Royal too. Now the arm and the pose is actually a new arm and pose. It ties up at the back, by the way, the robe. So some poor bloody soul had to sit there and tie all these up. Bless them. So the actual tie itself comes straight off, as does the robe. Now, as you see at the back of the boots, so Ric Flair had two tones. So he also wore them on the shin, which we realised in the last couple of years. On the event, it was two-tone boots. So Callum, when he painted these originally, didn't realise they were two-tone boots, pads, sorry. Either that or they painted the wrong colour, or something to do with that anyway, I remember. But yeah, so you have darker green on the front and lighter green on the back. Not sure the reason why Flair had that was, but either way, done now. Now getting the robe off, I'm not like you're ever going to take the robe off, but if you do, let's give you a little look-see as to how that looks. So obviously the elbow articulation is probably, well, it is new. There's not really been much before this. I know the Sandman from Zombie Sailor has sort of, I don't want to say copied it, because Sandman's just come out, so it's technically come out before this, but I think this was announced before the arm articulation was swapped over. But as you can see, it's like that. So if you want to pose Ric Flair with his hands on his hips, there he is, doing the Macarena. Or if you want to pose him seducing your girl, you can do that too. The design there of his man boobs there, lovely. Now obviously if you're going to pose it in a weird way, like maybe doing this, you are going to see some seams like that, for example, like bicep. But I mean, also this, why you're going to, you probably wouldn't pose them like that. I can't imagine making a pose like the robe on, to be honest, but if you do, you can't even really notice the seams unless you look directly at them. So face on like that, you're all good. Looks lovely. Now getting the robe on and off again. It's not like the old Jax days. Remember the Jax figures back in the day? They used to just have like horrible rubber. But this one, obviously, because the arm articulates certain ways, you can just pop it on like this, and then sort of pop it back, and then just fix the jacket after that. It sorts itself out. Lovely. There we go. Ready for a day at the spa. I imagine all my roast staff's going to get some form of abuse for whatever reason. But yeah, there's Ric Flair. There. I've not really done his red much justice there. He's going for his green belt and his karate, bless him. If we next move on to Barry Windham. Now, Barry Windham was from the Four Horsemen. I think he was like the godfather of Bray Wyatt, I believe. More known for to me anyway, as a youngster, the Stalker in WWF from Survivor Series 1996. I remember on that. So once again, the same collaborations as before with Tippy, with Mateus, CMW action figure seller, and Mike McGee. This is Barry cemented his legacy as one of the most decorated champions of the 80s He clawed his way through the competition in all major promotions, stalking his opponents as he went stalking. Do you get it? Because he was a stalker. The gimmick, not in real life. Talk about such a window, barbarian. Once again, just gotta put the tape off and then undo the side. So this is the first Epic Toys Retro that comes with a interchangeable hand. So we'll take a little look see at that bad boy. But first of all, the buttons were first shown off during the Epic Toys Wrestling Mega Show with ourselves. A good few, when was that? February? End of January, February time. The buttons are huge on Barry, but luckily they've taken a bit of feedback on. Always this one back. A bit of feedback on us has made them into realistic looking buttons on there. They don't work as buttons because the other side does not have a female port, I don't know what you call it, an innie to put the buttons in there. What's it called? You put the button minge, you know what I mean? It says Barry's lovely face there, and you see the jacket in a sort of faux leather material. A little detail on Baz's boots there. Look at there, mate. Guessing that red Pantone got good use in the factory. Obviously it comes initially with the glove hand like that. Obviously it stretches out now. I haven't done this before, so I haven't fucked it. No, we're right, we're all good. We're all good. And then you just got to pop on. Oh, nice little snap in there, do you hear that? And there you have it. You got the Barry hand like that. Now this is obviously how I'm going to pose it with the hand out. I think it looks a lot better with the hand out like that, which is good. And so you can have it like this. You can do the tragedy dance from Steps with one hand if you wish to. But yeah, there it is. Barry versus Ric Flair. Look at that, me in the middle. And the old headner to Warrior and Hogan. Yeah, that's Barry. When the leather is going to be, the sort of pleather or the faux leather is going to be the big selling point on this. The vest itself, it's a lovely looking vest. The knee pad, same as Flair on one side. If you look at how accurate it is from that, the knee pad being right on the front, like the Poland flag. Big shout out to Classy Rick or Voltorb from Pokemon as well. So here, so I'll see the hip swivel if you wish to. No actions with this. One day all retros will have some actions outside of Mattel. But today is not that day. So that's Barry in the bag. Probably the one I know least about, I would say. Here we are. One I know second least about is Dr. Death Steve Williams. A lot of people think so about Dr. Death. I think the majority of stuff I found out about him was to do with the Brawl for All, the Dark Side of the Ring episode on the Brawl for All, and how sort of this was meant to have made will be big things. So it makes sense that he had a Jax BCA so early. And then obviously just sat on the pegs for so long because no one really knew who he was that much. And also he was quite a big star on WWF Attitude, which I think I had on the PS1 at the time. He was one of the first people that you can pick at the top of the screen. So I'm guessing just had really big things for him, and then that just derailed everything. The back of the card, Dr. Death Steve Williams, height 6'1", weight 285 pounds, from Norman, Oklahoma. One of the toughest men to ever lace up a pair of wrestling boots. Williams dominated North America and Japan for decades. A feared and violent man who would offer a brawl for all. Brawl for all. Do you get it? Because of the brawl for all. Silly. Right, Dr. Death Steve Williams. Her first details, different to the sample that I showed off a few months back, is the boots. There's more details on the boots for Dr. Death Steve Williams. I think we'll put actually on the Flair. The sample that I showed off before, if you want to go on our Facebook, didn't have the RF on it, whereas this one, just thought I'd point that out. Dr. Death Steve Williams, looking a bit like me if I had hair. He catches the light lovely, doesn't he? Bald spot, I mean. Comes with this robe once again tied at the back, so I'll have fun untying that now whilst I talk you through everything I know about Dr. Death Steve Williams. And there we go, that was everything. You know, he's in the Brawl for All where obviously throughout his career, he went on to WCW and he lost to just really random people, like I think someone from like Vampiro's stable he lost to randomly, and then had a feud with him and went nowhere, and he got paired up with Oklahoma, which is like a JR piss take, which obviously was terrible. So yeah, so I didn't really help with Dr. Death, but being ring ready. There he is. His lovely red trunks. Face wise, very biblical looking as he was. The body is just thick and girthy as anything, as Steve Williams was, as I mentioned before. The boots and the same with Barry, the two-tone boots that he's got. Obviously the legs on him are a little bit thicker, but really made the most out of that red and white Pantones, haven't they? But they work really well as a series, so always good to see. But yeah, Dr. Death, I think he would have some big fans. I know JR was quite high up on his on Dr. Death here. So I think his last figure, did he get a classic superstar? He did. It was the last one since then. I'm pretty sure he did. If not, then the BC would have been his last one, but that was just a repurposed Mark Henry figure. Or Mark Henry body anyway. Keep the same skin tone. So yeah, I think that he must have got, I'm pretty sure he got a classic superstar. Everyone got one. That's a job for later. And now we move on to the main event, where we're going to be in a Barbie world with the Barbarian. Anyone that's big fans of wrestling between early 90s, 92 to be exact to myself, knows Barbarian's single run, and probably one of the figures how we can wonder why we didn't get a Hasbro with him back in the day. Also, we had a Barbarian Epic Toys figure paired with the Warlords and the Powers of Paint a few years back. One of the figures of the year for a lot of people. The tag team was anyway, and a lot of detail went for the soft goods for those. And once again, exactly the same here, where with Barbarian, we need to have some good soft goods with him. On the back, led by Bobby Heenan, another Epic Toys on from Series 3, Barbarian found success by using his immense power and inflicting severe pain on his opponents. The most iconic look of the era, finally in retro form. Let's not wait any longer. Let's get him out, shall we? And there's the Barbarian. So obviously known in the Faces of Fear in WCW as well, but for me this is the look that always won it. I mean, if you look at a guy who comes out with a full cape, antlers on, looking massive as he did, tanned to all hell, didn't say many words either, which sort of added to the mystique of it. Now, I know this coat's been through quite a few different reworks. Most notably, I'd say the end of the cape, but they did have like stickers or transfers on there to start with, which made it look a little bit cartoonish, which I wasn't a massive fan of in the slightest. And I think this looks a lot better where it's just sewn in basically, rather than going for the sort of cartoonish look for him. But and then look at the two-tone underneath the trunks as well. Oh, hello, cheeky. Yeah, you got the two-tone colours under there for Barbarian, as well as the knee pads, the boots, and the little thigh fur as well. And obviously the antlers are removable too, and the back of the coat. So get the cloak off him, should we? No, it goes over his shoulder. That's what you do, is you pop your arms through there. I've knocked his hand out and goes off, but we'll keep that for a second. You see Barbarian in his... I haven't got a stage to spin around on, but you can see the Barbarian. So even if you have him without the soft goods, just ring ready to fuck someone up, it's good to go. Look at him, ready to scrap. And the details of this, and this is going to be like figure of the year for a lot of people, whether a retro category or whether it's just in general. Obviously opinions are opinions, but the details go into this, as well as sort of like no corners cut, really. So I know Luke was a big fan of this figure and wanted to make it happen. Wanted to make it happen his way as well, which was just walls to the wall for everything at it, which he has done. Obviously the different stages for it as well, that's definitely the best that's looked. So trying to figure out how to like get over his shoulder, you know. Well, I'll fuck this up. There you go. Camera's a bit askew there, so you sort of see underneath. See how the sausage is made, I guess. Look at this tip. This is a learning curve. Learning curve for me, learning curve for you, learning curve for everyone. What do we get? Oh, it's because it's stuck on the back of his hair, that's why. That's a bit better. Well, stuff, yeah, so there's the Barbarian in its entirety. On the back of the cape there. Fuck. That's, yeah, Series 4 in the bag. Epic Toys has nailed it again. I know I'm biased because, you know, my friends' companies, but it's good to see. The whole series has come out. All of them are good. I thought that people are going to have favourites regardless of which one it is, whether they're fans of Flair, whether they're Barry Windham fans, whether they're just fans of figures in general. Everyone's going to have a different opinion of what their favourite one of the set is. For me, it's the Barbarian, I think, only because of how good it is, as well as fits into the era perfectly. So I think it's just a dream combination. The Flair is up there too. It's hard to say because none of them are bad. None of them are badly done figures. When you get them, you'll see. But head over to epic-toys.co.uk. I'll put the link in the description. Keep an eye, obviously, on the website when they go in stock. Pre-orders for these will be shipping in over the next week, so end of July 25. So head on over. Do a like, do a subscribe, comment. I don't give a fuck. Do one of those, and thanks for watching. See you later.
3 P away.